Hey, all. Today we are talking about the Super Bowl halftime show and Rihanna and how she is never not marketing.
Balancing building a successful business and being a superstar mom is hard, and yet, in today's digital world, it's more common than ever.
The question becomes, how do we successfully grow a business and children at the same time?
Join us for a candid conversation as we share our insights into marketing and motherhood. I'm Angela Reeder.
And I'm Jessie Valle. Welcome to the Marketing Moms Podcast. Hey, y'all. Okay, so at the time of recording this, well, and this is going to come out the same week, we just had the Super Bowl this past Sunday. And I wanted to talk for a minute about the obvious marketing mom on stage, Rihanna. Now, a few things like that just hit me during the halftime show, and I was like, you know what, we have to talk about this on the podcast. The first thing is obviously, as everyone's pointing out, she's pregnant. Now, normally it would have probably been less of a big deal, other than the fact that her Super Bowl halftime show was her announcing that pregnancy. So, uh, part of me is like, okay, I see like that's news, but at the same time, I'm seeing online half, if not more than half, of the articles about the halftime show are about the fact that she's pregnant again.
Yeah, she definitely pulled the spotlight as far as grabbing media attention and sort of stealing the show with her halftime, because it's not, normally we see the halftime articles and they're about the songs or the dances or the outfits.
Yes.
Or the choice of those
I was going to
things.
say the strange something during the performance.
The weird thing that happened during the performance, right? But like all anybody said, the first thing I was telling Jessie earlier, I didn't get to watch the whole halftime show. But when I got up this morning at 3:30 and I opened my phone, the first thing I came across was the pregnancy announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, no, that can't be right. Like people are always, oh, she's pregnant, and they're not. And then I got to looking into it and I was like, oh no, she is. Like she used that as a platform to announce her pregnancy, which I thought was really smart on her part.
Yeah, it's really cool. Considering like people think of really, really fun ways to announce engagements and in this case, a baby. So like these are big life moments. And I think, yeah, that was really cool. Someone was saying like, I think it was maybe my husband just being like, yeah, how would you like to be that kid someday saying, oh yeah, my mom did a Super Bowl halftime show when I was in her womb.
Right? Mom was pregnant with me when she did the halftime show.
Yeah. Part of me is happy and excited that a mom is getting out there and saying, "Yeah, I'm pregnant, so what? I'm going to rock this Super Bowl halftime show."
Right.
But then another part of me is like, "Okay, but so many people focused on the pregnancy during the news articles. What about her actual performance?"
Yeah.
Like it took away, it was almost like she stole the thunder from herself.
Yes.
Like instead of articles about her choice in music or her choice in dress and dancing and the actual show, they chose to focus on her pregnancy.
Yeah. We see this a lot with women in particular, moms in general, when they have businesses and careers. I don't know if you saw any of the articles that the halftime flyover show was an all-female pilot crew this year.
Mm-mm.
And so I was kind of scrolling through some of the news articles and the comments. I usually try to stay out of the comments. But one of the things that surprised me.
I go to the comments. I'm like, what are people saying?
One of the things that surprised me was there were not as many like, oh, but were they the most qualified for the job comments as I thought there would be.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a lot of women in the comments saying, why does this have to be a big deal? Like, Like,
Why are you
can't they
pointing
just
it
be
out?
women and be pilots? Like, why does it have to matter that they're women?
Mhm.
Which I get, like, it's celebrate that women are breaking into new fields, and I love it. But the fact that that sentiment was there kind of surprised me. And I think it's a little bit like that with Rihanna. Like, yes, it's cool, she's pregnant, but at the same time, she's a musician. She performed a show. How was the show?
Mhm.
Like, we want to celebrate that she's pregnant. We're all excited for her. Most of us, I'm sure, are excited for her. Um, but at the same time, it can get exhausting when it's like, oh, yeah, I'm this and a mom. I'm that and a mom.
Yeah. Well,
So
and I
there's
thought
that
about
weird
that too.
dichotomy there.
Right. And I thought about that too. Like, it's not like, a dad's performing and they're like, and he announced that he's having a baby. Like, it is
Right.
different. Like, at some
It
point,
is
you have to
different.
say, I understand it is different. The mother is
Yes.
actually carrying the child.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to focus for him. Oh, unless you had something else to say.
No, I was going to say the interesting thing about it was how she kind of injected her own marketing into it with the pregnancy and with other things, other parts of her performance.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to say also is that it was really cool how she did not ask for somebody to co-star in the show with her.
Right.
She did not, you know, try to take the load off of her by asking for that or, like the only thing she obviously did was adjust her dance moves
Mm-hmm.
to, accommodate
Yeah,
for her
to accommodate
pregnancy.
that.
So
Yeah.
she, yeah, it was an alteration, but she was still like, I'm still going to go do this show. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still going to rock it. And, I'm not going to she didn't sit out.
Yeah.
She didn't pull out and say, no, I'm not going to do the show.
Yeah. She made those adjustments to make it work.
Hmm.
And part of that is for, like we say, always never not marketing.
Yeah. Never not
Part of it
marketing.
is for that. Like, if you pull out or you have a co performer,
Hmm.
then that's the story.
Right. I, I did. I think there are some people that when a woman becomes pregnant, she becomes this fragile glass thing that you just want to put in a
Mm-hmm.
bubble for 9 months. At
Yeah.
least my husband treated me that way. And it drove me crazy. But it's like, okay, just because you're pregnant, like that is a part of many women's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And life doesn't just stop because you become pregnant.
Right.
Yes, you can still go do Super Bowl halftime shows. Yes, you can still work. Yes, you can still, do XYZ. And I
Yeah.
loved that aspect of her being like, it doesn't matter what's happening in my personal life, I can still
Yes.
work.
Yes.
Like my life doesn't
And I
stop because I'm pregnant.
and I am 100% sure that if for any reason her doctors had said we don't think you should do this, she would have pulled out.
Right.
Because that, as generally as moms, is what we do. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, we do put our kids first, we do put our families first, but seeing her get out there, seeing her make those little adjustments to her dances, but still get out there, still sing, still perform. And it's a short performance, but it's an
Hmm.
intense
It's intense.
performance.
Yeah.
So, seeing her do that was really, really cool.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I was pregnant with my second. There was someone who I was coaching at the time. And so I would meet with him once a week. And, we would do an hour coaching session. And I was literally like, we did this for months, like 4 or 5 months. And towards the end of my pregnancy, I was on a training call with a group of people, and those people knew I was pregnant and were like, let's see the baby bump because I was close to the end of my pregnancy. So I stood up, showed my belly and everything. And that coaching client of mine happened to be on the call. He's like, I had no idea you were pregnant because and I just thought that was hilarious that, you can again, like your life doesn't just stop because you
Right.
become pregnant. Like it's just
Yes.
part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the funny things that I love about working in the online space is that I can continue to just be myself and have these conversations and almost it's funny how how to an extent your visual appearance matters and people will
Mm-hmm.
judge you like it's human nature. People
Yeah.
don't didn't even he didn't even know I was pregnant. Um People don't realize until they actually meet me in person that I'm not even 5 foot tall. Like these things online just don't matter.
Yes.
And they can't treat me like cute little Jessie because they have no clue how short I am.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because of course my whole life I've been treated that way.
Right? Yeah, me same with me. I'm not quite as short as Jessie, but there's only a couple inches difference. I'm only about 5 foot tall. My 13-year-old has now outgrown me. She's a couple inches
Oh.
taller than me. She loves it. She thinks it's awesome. She picks on me all the time.
I tell my kids, I hope you're taller than me.
Right? I was like, keep growing, keep
Yeah,
going.
keep going. But
But yeah, you're
anyway.
right. Some of that doesn't matter in the
Mhm,
online space. And she's
mhm.
in a very public space where
Yes.
that does matter. And to see her use that, not like use it in a sleazy way, but
No,
use it to her advantage and use it to help market herself and her brand and her products was
mhm.
is really cool.
I just thought it was really cool that it was like the statement of, "Yes, I'm pregnant, but yes, I'm still gonna do this show."
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing that happened during the show is that there was a point in between songs where she kind of passed off the microphone, grabbed this, makeup compact or something, like patted her face, gave it back, and then grabbed the microphone. And and to the normal person, they'd be like, "Wait, what was that?" Like,
Yeah.
it's a 13-minute long set. You don't need to touch up your makeup. Like, what's going on? But to those people who know, she
Yes.
has her Fenty Beauty brand.
Mhm.
So not only is she a singer and, doing all of that with as a musician, she is a beauty entrepreneur. And actually, I
Yeah.
saw a headline. Where was it? Rihanna is worth $1.4 billion thanks to Fenty Beauty.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was so subtly done. Like you
Hmm.
said, a lot of people didn't really catch it
Hmm.
or didn't really understand what she was doing. I'm
Hmm.
sure a lot of people lumped that in with her being pregnant, like, oh, she stopped to touch up her makeup because whatever. Uh, but people who follow her, who listen to her music, who are aware of her and are aware of her brand, saw that for what it was. It was a plug for Fenty. And they go, oh, yeah, she has this beauty brand or whatever. And people that don't know are about to find out because it's going to be talked about.
Yes, exactly. So to me, I thought that was a very smart marketing move. Again, never not
Yes.
marketing
Never not marketing.
because, yeah, like it was a plug for her own stuff. So again, like you said, like either you're going to know what it was or you're not. And you're going to be like, wait, what was that? And you might look it up and be like, oh,
Yeah.
she's
Or
got a
you'll hear
beauty
people like
line.
us talking about it and be like, oh, I
Exactly.
didn't know she had a beauty brand.
Yeah. And then they're going to go out and maybe buy. And
Hmm.
it's funny during some of the Super Bowl commercials, there was one for like Taco Bell, which on a good day, my husband's obsessed with Taco Bell, but he's just like, I want that. Let's go get Taco Bell right now. I'm like, that's what they want you to say. That's literally the
Yeah.
point of this commercial is
That's
they
the
want you
point
to
of the
say, let's
commercial.
go get Taco Bell right now.
Yes. Yeah. I was busy with my kids for a lot of the Super Bowl last night, but one of my favorite things to do, if I can do it during the Super Bowl, I do, but if I can't, I do it the day after, is to watch all of those Super Bowl commercials
Mhm.
because I love really seeing, because those are the best ideas they could come up with. Like
It's true.
those slots are expensive. expensive. That
Yes.
is the absolute best advertisement they could come up with for the slot they had. And so watching the choices that people make and companies make for what they're putting in those advertisements and the way they choose to go is just fascinating to me from a marketing perspective.
Yeah. That's a good it's a good thing. That, like, to analyze it, to not just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch these for entertainment," but like,
Right.
"Okay, let's actually go back and analyze." And that's kind of what we're doing with like Rihanna's halftime show is we're analyzing the
Mhm.
choices she made. She chose
Yes.
to announce her pregnancy during that time because that's just a really cool
Mhm.
pregnancy announcement.
And make it really obvious. Like, there was no
Oh yeah.
question that she was pregnant at that point. And like I said, those rumors swirl a lot, especially around famous women, musicians, actresses, things like that. But yeah, like I saw her outfit.
Yeah.
There was not a question that she was pregnant. And so then for her to come out after and say, "Yes, I am pregnant," and confirm it was a really smart move on her part rather than even saying it like right before the Super Bowl, you know, right before the performance or whatever.
I also thought it was interesting how, like, I was laughing because it's like, so to me, the Super Bowl has this legacy, I guess you could say, of yes, it's like national TV and supposed to be like, quote unquote family friendly or whatever, but the Super Bowl halftime show is always pushing that envelope to
Oh,
questionable. Like,
always.
I'm not
Every
sure I
year.
really want my, you know, little kid watching this. But I thought it was like, I actually thought to myself, how funny was that? That even though she was covered from head to toe, she still
Mhm.
found ways for me to be like, ooh, kind of glad my
Oh,
kid's not watching that. Kind of
right.
glad my kid's in bed. Because, like, I'm like, that's exactly what I want tomorrow is my 3-year-old grabbing his crotch, turning around and shaking his booty.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
just thought it was hilarious that I'm just like, even though she's pregnant, she's covered head to toe,
Yep.
she still found those ways for a mom to be
Yes.
like, not quite sure I want my kid watching that. But
Yeah, and that
without
is
having to
kind
be
of the
like
legacy of
totally
halftime.
revealing or
Yes.
quote unquote wardrobe malfunction
World
or
function.
something like
Yes.
that. At least that's not the headline. It's not a
Right? Yes. And, going back to those choices, like we were saying, if she had chosen a different outfit that didn't quite show off her baby bump so well, or if she had really toned down her dancing, that would have kind of been the focus there and waited to announce the pregnancy. People would have said, "Oh, it wasn't really that great of a halftime show. Like she wasn't really, provocatively dressed. She didn't really
Mhm.
dance very well." And then you come out and say, "Well, I'm pregnant." Well, it's still exciting, but it's not as headline grabbing. It comes
Right.
across a little bit more like an excuse. But because of
It's
the
true.
way she did it and the way that she was dressed and coming out right after to confirm the rumors instead of to use it as a like a response to
Right.
criticism, it really came out a lot better for her from a marketing perspective, for her brand and for her
Mhm.
self brand and for her beauty brand.
Yeah. And like I said, the fact that it was let's just address the elephant in the room to begin with. The first thing she
Mhm.
does is kind of like rub her belly, and
Yeah.
then she like just goes on after that.
Yeah.
It's like, "Yes, I'm pregnant, but now let's do
Let's
this.
perform.
Let's do
Yeah.
this." Yeah. And I like I said, I thought it was really interesting how even though she was pregnant, she clearly toned down some of the dance moves to
Right.
accommodate the pregnancy, but she didn't just stand there, right? Like she
Right.
still performed. So
Yeah.
anyway, to me, I thought it was really great. Took to Twitter last night, and I wanted to see what was up and what people were saying. And for the most part, people were happy she was pregnant, like congratulating her, thinking she did
Yeah.
an awesome job. There's still the people that are like, "Oh yeah, you think we're here for football? No, we're here for Rihanna." Or like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Rihanna's over. I can go to bed now."
Right.
Like there was still
Yeah.
that sentiment, which was awesome. There were a few people that were like, "Oh, great, she's pregnant again. Now I'm never gonna get my album." I'm just like, dude,
Ugh. Yeah.
Like,
Calm
yes,
down.
let's make it all about you. And there were actually several people doing that, like having crying gifs, like me realizing that Rihanna pregnant means there's no new album. I'm just like, really?
Yeah. I
That's
don't.
like saying that I can't think of any off the top of my head, like specific names, but I know there are some female actresses who take years off of acting
Mhm.
to raise a family. And that's like
Yeah.
saying, oh no, there's not going to be any more XYZ movies because she
Yeah.
decided to be a mom. Like, really? How stupid is that? Like,
Yeah.
be proud of her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
proud of her for saying, you know what? Career is cool, family's more important.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we know as marketing moms how hard that struggle is to balance between spending time with your family
Mhm.
and marketing your business.
Mhm. Yeah. And I just think it's really cool that she was able to blend the two together
Mhm.
so that she's never not marketing. Even like you said, like the way she announced the pregnancy was kind of like a marketing move for the
Yeah.
better. Like the way
Yeah.
that she did it only helped her brand.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, because it really did come across as very empowering. Like you
Mhm.
said, she went out and did the thing. Like
Yeah.
she's pregnant, but she went out and did the thing. And that's, especially because of the way her music is and the sort of uh, like personality that her beauty brand kind of presents as a brand.
Mhm.
Like that is important. That empowerment of,
Mhm.
yeah, I can just do the thing.
Yeah. Cool. So I would say your challenge this week is to not apologize for your brand, your motherhood, your choices, your life. Don't apologize for who you are and what you stand for. Just be, I guess.
Just be you.
Just be you. Thank you for joining us today. We're so honored this is where you chose to spend your time.
If this episode helped you in some way, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. We're in this together.
And if you're ready for next steps, free goodies, and more, head over to marketingmomspodcast.com.
We'll see you next week.